Hi y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today with another challenge video. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, so let's get on with the crafts. Let's go! Here we go with DIY number 1. Now for our first DIY, we got a calendar page, and what I'm doing is marking it out with pencil to see where I want to cut it. And you guys, I just got back from vacation, which I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit as we get on with the video. I'm going to share some pictures that y'all are going to love them. Well, at least I hope you will. Anyway, what I'm doing is I got this platter from the thrift store, and what I'm doing is making a mark around it, and it's already beautiful like it is, but I didn't want to. I wanted to leave the flowers. I kind of fought with myself whether to keep the flowers or get rid of the flowers. I ended up getting rid of them, and I'm going to put this calendar picture on the front of this platter. After I got that calendar page all marked out where I wanted to cut it, then I took black chalk paint and I painted this candlestick and the center of that little platter. And I was going to leave them the platter or the candlestick gold, but I decided that it would be better if I painted it with the black chalk paint. So that's what I did, because it just looked like two different pieces when I put it together, and seeing them apart it looked like it fit, but not really, so I had to paint it. Now I set that aside, and now that my platter is dry, I'm trying to get that camera set up for y'all. I am going to take Mod Podge and put in the center of this platter, and that way we can iron on our little calendar page that we cut out. Yeah, that's what we can do. You guys, I've been on vacation. I'm so glad to be back, but I enjoyed myself thoroughly. We went up to Cade's Cove, and I'll show you more pictures and tell you more about that in a little bit, so make sure you stay till the end and watch everything. Now here I'm going to put Mod Podge all over this, and I'm going to apply a generous coat. Now after I good gracious, I am having a time with this camera since I've got back from vacation, because I don't have everything where I want it, because I took the camera with me. So what I'm doing here is I'm going through, because that platter dips in the center, you're going to need to cut some little slits so that this will fold up around those edges and not tear. So after I got that cut just like I wanted it, I took out a piece of parchment paper. Now you have to wait for your Mod Podge to completely dry. Now I'm going all the way around the inside of that little divot and ironing this down flat. Now we're going to iron the other piece down, at the edges of it down, in just a second, but we need to iron this part first, make sure it's where we want it, and then we're going to go back and iron those edges down, and it's going to have some little spots in it once we iron it down. And I'm just checking to make sure nothing else needs to be cut, and I'm kind of following the design in the paper and making a few more slits so that this lays over that edge really beautiful. Now after we get all of those little slits in there, then we're going to take and iron those down, and you see where it left a few spaces in there. We're going to take some gold rub and buff and go in there and fill in those little spots where it left the spaces. Now here I took some of that rub and buff and put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going and rubbing it in that place, and I kind of didn't like how it was looking at first, so I went ahead and rubbed it around in all the spots where either the paper tore or whether it's where I cut the slit. And I'm going to take this and fill in those little slits and those areas, and then I'm going to buff it back with a baby wipe. Now here's where I go back and I take a baby wipe and start buffing it back, and also it started making some of the paper come off and it made it look vintage, and so I was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for right here. So I went around and made sure I did that in all the different places, made sure the rub and buff was smoothed out where it looked natural on there, and where it looked like the paper was torn, I was trying to create that edge that I'm showing you there. And I go all the way around and do that. And the next thing I did is I took the rub and buff and I put it on the back of my hand, and we're going to work on this little candlestick. We're going to add it to all the places that I felt like needed some of that to bring out that design that's there, and then we'll move on to the next step. And then after I did that, I got out my E600, and that's what you see on the top of that candlestick. Now I made sure I didn't put chalk paint on that part. Now I'm taking this rapid fuse by DAP and using it. Now you didn't need to put any in the center. I don't know why I did that. I guess I just wanted to. But then I'm going to put that on there. The rapid fuse is going to seal in a matter of seconds, but it still gives you enough time to turn this and adjust it where you want it. And then I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. And I'm going to seal the top with Mod Podge, and we will see this at the final reveal. Alright, this is the Thrift Flip Road Trip Open Challenge hosted by UnicornDustDesigns and the Crafting Cousins. And it happens every other month on a Thursday. I think it's the second or third Thursday, I don't know, but I will put it in my channel lineup so y'all will know when this happens next. So it is hosted by these two channels, and go check them out. Their links are in the playlist below, and also are in the description box below. And there is also a playlist in that description box of all the other ladies that participated in this thrift flip road trip. Now, we took a trip ourselves, and it was to the Great Smoky Mountains, and we did a lot of thrifting while we were there, and we saw a lot of bears while we were there. So y'all stay tuned for the end to see that, and boy did I get tongue-tied there. Okay, let's get back to crafting. Alright, here we go with DIY number 2. Alright, we got this little red birds set at a thrift store. I believe it was in Tennessee when we got it. Not sure, because we bought a lot of stuff while we were there, and I pulled it out of a box that I got while I was there. Anyway, I didn't like how, I thought the red birds were so beautiful, but I didn't like how this little tea light cup looked, and I tried to use my heat gun to melt all the wax and hopefully loosen up the glue so I could take that part out, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. So I got all the wax out of the center of it, and what I'm doing here is I'm painting the little cup with Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. Now after we got it painted and it got dry, then we went back with Mod Podge so that we could put glitter over this. Now I did go back down onto the little snowy part so that I could put glitter there as well, so it kind of blended as we went up on the little birds. And if I got Mod Podge on the little birds, I didn't worry about it because they were going to be, it would just make it look like snow on them, you know. And so I didn't worry about painting the inside of the cup with 2 coats of paint, but I did do the outside with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. And now I'm using the Diamond Dust glitter. It's extra fine glitter. I believe this came from Michael's years ago. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, we're going to sprinkle this with glitter and let it dry. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this little snowflake. I put hot glue on it at first to hold it in place. Then I'm going to put this rapid fuse by DAP on there. And then I'm going to take a little sprig of this greenery that you get from the Dollar Tree at Christmas time. And I am going to start gluing this. We're going to turn this from a tea light into a little flower arrangement for the holiday season. So we are going to add different little sprigs. Now I could have gone in here and added a piece of foam block, but you guys, I looked all over the place. I thought I had some. I know I got some here, but I couldn't find it, so I just made do without it. And I'm going to glue these little pieces into place, and then we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. Alright, here we go with DIY number 3. Now for this next DIY, I took and put I took some of these cubes from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to put some antiquing wax all over them but one side. And you need to leave that one side blank because we're going to add this to a little tray, and we want to make sure it adheres to it. Now here's the piece that I got from the thrift store, and it was just a blank round, and I am going to put these little legs on here, and because it's oval I can get away with doing 3 legs on this, and I am going to place these on there. I'm going to use some hot glue to place them temporarily until I get ready to use my brad nailer, and I'm going to nail those down onto there. And I'm going to do that before I actually get the calendar picture put on the front of this. And this theme for this challenge was Christmas in July. Now I did already go over this side of the little oval with Mod Podge and let it dry. When I did the first DIY, I added the Mod Podge to this one and let it dry in place. Now, after I got those braided nailed on, my Mod Podge is already on there, and I am going to take this and use my little heat press, iron this on, and then I'm going to go around the edge with a finger sander. Once I've got all the edges sanded like I want it, I go back over my whole picture with Mod Podge and then let it dry. Now, the next thing I did is I did add a piece of jute rope around the edge of this, and we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now, here we go with DIY number 4. Now, for this DIY, we got this little mirror up in, I believe it was in Tennessee, at one of the thrift shops, and we are going to take and revamp this. So I'm taking all the stuff off of it that was on it, taking all the stickers off, and getting it ready to go and cleaning it up. Then the next thing I did is I took out a piece of this ribbon or ribbon lace or whatever you want to call it. It's lace, but it's like a ribbon. And I am going to scrunch it up just like that. And I decided I was going to tie it with a piece of jute. Then I was going to tie it with this. And I was like, nah, I don't want any of this showing. And so then I went and got me a clear zip tie that I get from, I think I get these from either the Dollar Tree or either at, what's the name of that place? Harbor Freight. And I am going to tighten that up and then trim it back. And then I'm going to pull this around and make me a little rosette. And this turns out absolutely gorgeous when I get done with it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll glue the ends so that they stay together, and I'm just fluffing it out here. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to see where I want to place it at, and I'm going to go through my little jewelry box stuff that I got right there and get me a piece of bling out. And then I'm going to get me a piece of ribbon to tie onto this. Now here's my piece of wired ribbon. I'm going to take this, put a little dot of glue in the center, fold this over. You guys, I'm not great at making bows, but this one I seen somebody do it and I can do this. So now what I'm doing is just folding it up to make it look like a little bow tie, and I'm going to take a piece of that gray ribbon and I am going to just tie a knot and tie this so that it stays like I want it to. And then I'm going to add my little rosette to this, and I'm going to add my little rosette, and then with just some hot glue. Now I put plenty of hot glue on it. I'm going to glue it down to the center, and then I'm going to take my little piece of jewelry and I am going to use some more of, yeah, that hot glue is hot. I'm telling you, I burnt my fingers. My fingers had gotten to where they weren't so rough when I was on vacation, and then what happened? I come back and get hot glue on them again. Now, you guys, you should use that DAP glue to attach that jewelry piece. And I did go back and reattach it with the DAP glue because it will pop off with the hot glue because it's a piece of metal. But with that DAP glue, it's DAP Rapid Fuse, and it will make it stay permanently on there. And yeah, I'm still picking all the hot pieces off. of hot glue. So now I'm trying to decide how I'm going to put this on there, where I want to put it, and I'm going to take and run the ribbon through just like they did there, so that this can either be hung on a wall or it could be put on a plate stand or a picture stand. And I am just going to tie a knot this, and then I'm going to use that DAP glue, attach my bow, and we'll see this at the final reveal. Now at this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches. We appreciate everything you do for this channel. Although the liking, the sharing, and the big thumbs up, and having conversations with us through the comments, we really enjoy all of that, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We wouldn't be a channel if it wasn't for y'all watching. And so we just want to give you a big thanks. Here we go with the final reveal and all the embellishments. Y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these just turn out awesome? So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give us that big thumbs up, because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye. All right, that's the end of the crafting, but you guys, these Cades Cove pictures were just so awesome this year. Here is a picture of one of the cabins in the church that is there at Cades Cove, and that is actually a picture of a bear that we saw while we were there. Now this bear crossed over right in front of us. I'm going to show you some clips from that and some pictures from that, so y'all stay tuned, and then we've got some other announcements right after this. And if you like this content with me adding the Cades Cove pictures in here, let me know, because I will add more pictures into my videos at the end and show y'all all the beautiful things, show y'all the places we went thrifting and everything. We had a blast while we were here. We did go thrifting over in Maryville, Tennessee, and in Sevierville, Tennessee. Now, Sevierville wasn't as good as Maryville was, so we spent 2 days over in Maryville at the thrift stores, because there's one day you can't go to Cades Cove, and that's because only bicyclists can ride through there on that day, and that is Wednesdays. So here we go with the pictures. Now here is the picture of the actual bear that I took a picture of, and up in Cades Cove they call the traffic jams up there bear jams, because everybody stops to see the bears, and it backs up traffic. So if you're going through Cades Cove, expect delays in the summertime, because the bears are out. And we saw more bears this year than we ever have before up there. And there were more than 10 bears while we were there. Now this bear crossed over the road right in front of us, or first he crossed the road 2 cars ahead of us, and boy was I praying that we'd get to see him. And wouldn't you know, just as soon as everybody started taking off, here comes that bear crossing the road right in front of us again. Those trees started shaking. My husband thought that bear was coming in the car with us, and I was just laughing, but I was taking pictures. You can see me in my own car mirror taking a picture of this bear and how close he was to us. We had a blast while we were there. Now, if you'd like to see more pictures of this trip and the thrifting places we went to, just let me know, because we'd be more than happy to share with you. We had an awesome time. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Beth and I's booth. Now, as you know, We opened a booth. We call it the Chic Shack. It's at Avonlea Mall. And we have only been open for 4 weeks. And that piece of furniture right there in the front, we have to keep replacing it with something because it just keeps selling. Now, if you want to know what's going on with our channel, go check out our community tab page, because that's where we're at, and we will share with you everything that is going on with our channel there. And if something's canceled, then you'll know why. So go look us up on our community tab page.
Awesome. So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell and give us that big thumbs up, because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.